let's take a look at our getting up close with some of the NPP parliamentary candidates. We'll begin a series of investigations into the backgrounds and the vision of some of the candidates that are contesting in these primaries. And we'll ask the candidates to share their vision and convince you to vote for them, not only in the primaries, but in the national contest as well. Today, we start with Mike Ocquaye Jnr. He's Ghana's ambassador to India. He's one of the candidates vying for the Dome-Kwabenya seat of the NPP. Now, you should know, or you may know, that he's challenging the deputy majority leader in Parliament, Sarah Adwoa-Safo. Mike Ocquaye Jnr. is here right now. He's also the son of the Speaker of Parliament, Professor Aaron Mike Ocquaye, by the way. Ms. Ocquaye, thank you very much for your time this afternoon.
Hello, and a good day to all your viewers and listeners.
How is Dome-Kwabenya doing?
Oh, Dome-Kwabenya is doing very well. There were some periods with a little bit of misunderstanding. I'm sure you understand how sometimes the followers can get agitated with some misunderstandings that went on. But I think generally at the top, I don't have any problem with anyone. I have very good rapport with the candidate who is the incumbent at the moment. And we just strive to let everybody understand that this is a very civilized internal contest. You put your hat in the ring to convince the delegates, and that is what it's all about. If they think that they would want to maintain the MP after 8 years of good work, they do that. If they think that they are not satisfied and want to change, they do that. But either way, the elephant is the winning symbol, and that is a message that we are getting to our supporters on the ground.
What exactly does Mike Ocquaye Jr. bring to the table that's different from what Adwoa-Safo is offering? For which reason you think that people will vote for you?
Well, I mean, that is something which is a bit difficult to go into detail at the moment to the public, because remember, obviously, my sister is not here, and it may be a bit unfair to speak about certain things where she would not have the opportunity to answer. But I will just go with perception.
She will get her day. She will get her day. So go ahead and do it. She will get her day. So go ahead and do it.
Oh, no, I mean, maybe or maybe not. But at least at the moment, we don't want any acrimony of, for example, claiming certain things in the public. Because as I keep saying, this is really about the delegates. And so we just want to also talk about the NPP primaries in general terms. But the detail we will speak to the delegates about. But as I'm saying, in view of your audience, for them to just have a summation of some of the perceptions, some of the things that they want is, they feel that there isn't an amount of unity in the constituency. They also feel that the division is costing a lot of damage to the constituency. That is their perception. And so I am answering that angle by telling them that I would bring more unity. I would handle the executive split in this manner or that manner. I would make sure that the certain sentiments that they are complaining about in detail is not going to exist, because I will be a good listener and will use the party structures to deal with their problems in terms of positively, and also deal with the problems that they are facing personally. And these are some of the things that they've complained about. They feel as if some of the issues in the constituency are handled by others who are not supposed to be in charge of the constituency, but, for example, would have a personal relationship with this person or that person. So that has really come out as one of the issues, and I've promised them that these things will be done differently. Another matter too that is a big perception is the issue of welfare. I mean, most of them feel that in areas like, for example, scholarships, they've not been able to have enough of those. They've not heard about many of them. And they feel that after 8 years, to have the number of scholarship people, even among the delegates, is not good enough. And so they want somebody who would be able to handle matters that come into the constituency in a particular way. So that is something that I've promised them, especially to do with their welfare and, most importantly, the nurturing of the constituency. there's been a big complaint about the neglect of the party office, to the extent that the place has not been painted for the last 8 years. There was no air conditioning, the glass door was broken, and so on and so forth. And I have personally provided those things, painted the place, and also dealt with the glass door and so on and so forth, to bring it up to speed and to make it presentable, so that when we were going to hand in our vetting forms, most of the supporters were chuffed to see the development that was happening at that particular juncture. Even further, I've also promised to work on looking for land to build a suitable party structure, which is something which would be of permanent gain to the constituency as well. Most importantly, the constituency wants to see development in certain amenities. For example, we have a health center that needs to be updated or upgraded to the next level. There's a space for a story building. It's now just the ground floor. I've promised to make that a full-time maternity ward. Also, the police station at Taifa, that, for example, we want to expand and to even make it bigger, because at the moment it's the district police headquarters, and so on and so forth. Of course, there are some detail that we will discuss with the delegates one-on-one, so that they would be able to make the necessary comparisons on the ground to determine if this is the new leader we want, or we want to maintain what we have. So generally, that is what we're doing. My sister is on the ground. She's talking to the delegates. I am also on the ground talking to the delegates. And we have vowed that we are going to make sure that Dome-Kwabenya is not heard of in any negative light.
Very well.
Anybody who is doing any negativity, then that is onto them. And either myself or my sister would have to take the blame for that action. But other than that, there's peace and quiet for now.
So with this engagement, we'd like to make it very brief, so that in very few words, you'll be able to convince your those who are expected to vote for you to do that. But I'd like to put in this question before I give you that opportunity to speak to the constituents. Now, you are contesting someone who has been in parliament, secured this seat at least twice for the party, someone who in the last election won with a 67.99% for the party. So she's done good for the party. She's held on to the seat for some time now. Someone who played a key role in the election 2012 and a key role as well in the party's decision to even contest that particular election. She seems to have a lot of accolades. Now, I just spoke to Kwabre East MP, who is, the issues concerning the election and disqualification there. She's been allowed to contest, or the party wants her to contest unopposed. Why is the party not doing the same for this woman who has done all of these things that I have mentioned? And why do you think you are being allowed to contest her anyway?
Oh, I don't know about being allowed. I am also a very senior member of the party, first of all. Most of the things that you have said, for example, when you talked about the 2012 election matter, this is something where the delegates themselves, they know who was there at 4 in the morning dealing with these matters, so that they were exposed. And they know those who came at 6 a.m. Of course, they are the representatives and so on and so forth to speak to the media. These are details that we wouldn't talk about in the media, because
hang on.
The
so if I just want to understand, hang on, I just want to understand the point you just made, that the point at the moment, I just want to leave it as a parable, because as I said, I don't understand parables, unfortunately.
Into certain details.
I have a hard time understanding parables. So if you can just break it down for me. So you were there at 4 a.m. and she was there at 6 a.m. So essentially you did most of the work.
I didn't say that. I said some people. And it could be
who are
many
these
others.
Some people?
I'm not talking
Does
about
it
one
include
person. All I'm saying is it is not about that. It is about the fact that I am saying certain things or claiming certain things which only the delegates can bear witness and testimony to. You outside, you won't be able to do that, because as a media person, when you come to the constituency, you have to speak to the constituency head. And when we do any work to support the constituency, we do it to support the candidate. But when there's a claim as to the nitty-gritty that makes you a better politician, then we explain to them how that came about and how the work was done. Now, looking at
but you don't want to explain to me and your viewer and the viewers who are watching.
Yeah, let me just make this point. Okay. Now, talking about being allowed, no, I've not been allowed to contest. I'm somebody who is a very senior member in the party, even more senior, if I dare say, than my sister in the party as well. Now, if she has been there for 2 terms, that is fantastic. But we all recall that she was allowed even to contest one of the party founders after his first term. So if she's a deputy leader and people like leader Edu was contested by Natoshi and he lost, I don't see any rule in the party that says if you're a leader and more so you're going for your 2nd term, no one can contest you. As I said rightly, you have gone twice already. This is your 3rd term. So if we are looking at what is going on, it's very simple. We are asking the delegates who voted for you in the first place to come to decide, do they want to maintain you? If they do, there's no problem. Because I remember contesting 8 years ago, and when I lost, I put my sister's picture on my gate because the elephant is the winning symbol. And I voted for her twice and campaigned for her twice. It's no problem internally. Now, if by the grace of God, I also win and she loses, I know she'll accept it in good faith and also put my picture on her gate. I mean, there's no problem at all internally. So there's nothing about allowing or disallowing as compared to somewhere else. Every situation is unique. And in my situation, I was very much fit and ready to contest, so the delegates will decide. Very well.
I wish that we had enough time to engage this, but unfortunately we don't. I'll give you say 30 seconds to convince your constituents why they should choose you over their current MP.
Yes, delegates, I know a lot of you have made certain claims that you feel neglected for the last 3 years. I know how you feel, and I know what you're talking about. I want to assure you that if you gave me the opportunity to become the parliamentary candidate and subsequently the MP for the constituency, all those matters that you've complained to me about internally that are issues in the campaign will be addressed and non-existent in the future. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Mr. Ocquaye Jr., thank you so much for your time. And you're joining us from India, correct?
No. I'm joining you from Ghana. I'm in Ghana at the moment. Yes.
Okay, you're working on the ground.
Ready and able. I'm actually on leave at the moment. I took a long leave so that I would have the opportunity to be able to campaign for the seat. Right. Every ambassador has something which we call home leave. And I haven't been on leave virtually for the last 2.5 to 3 years. Okay. So I've accumulated quite a bit. Of course, at the moment, just as it's over, I'm waiting for the borders in Ghana and India to open, and then I can resume whilst my deputy is in full charge of the mission. I wish you all the very best in the upcoming elections. Mike Ocquaye Jr. Thank you very much.
Right. Mike Ocquaye Jr. is contesting in the primaries for Dome constituency, a Dome-Kwabenya constituency. He's contending with the current deputy majority leader.